Is the age of the US dollar coming to an end? For nearly a century, it has ruled the world economy, not just as America's currency, but as the currency. The dollar is how oil is priced, how countries build reserves, how debts are settled, and how crises are survived. But that dominance is now under pressure. From Moscow to Beijing, from Brasilia to Riyadh, leaders are asking a dangerous question. What if we stopped using the dollar? The term for this quiet rebellion is de-dollarization. And while it might sound like a buzzword, it represents a massive realignment of global finance. If you want to understand what's really happening behind the headlines, here are 5 powerful books that reveal the story, layer by layer, with quotes, facts, and long-view insights that will change the way you think about money, power, and the future. Let's start with Currency Wars by James Rickards. It's urgent, provocative, and a little bit terrifying. Rickards argues that modern financial warfare is already underway, and currencies are the main weapon. His claim is bold. The US dollar, once a source of stability, has become so politicized and mismanaged that other countries now see it as a threat. The dollar has become a weapon and a target, he writes. He describes how countries like China and Russia are stockpiling gold, cutting dollar reserves, and crafting bilateral trade deals in local currencies. For example, China and Russia now conduct most of their energy trade in yuan and rubles, not dollars. Rickards believes de-dollarization isn't speculation, it's a strategy. A slow, methodical retreat from dollar dependence, meant to insulate economies from US sanctions, interest rate shocks, and debt volatility. The book reads like a spy novel, but the data and geopolitical context make it a must-read for anyone watching the global balance shift. Next is The Dollar Trap by Eswar Prasad, a former IMF economist. His take is more measured, but no less insightful. After the 2008 financial meltdown, people predicted that countries would abandon the dollar. The US banking system had nearly collapsed. Trust in Wall Street was at an all-time low. But instead of fleeing the dollar, central banks bought more of it. Why? Because even in chaos, the dollar was the safest option. Prasad explains it like this: even when the US falters, the dollar stands tall. This paradox is the heart of his book. The world hates how dominant the dollar is, but can't let go of it. No other currency has the liquidity, the trust, or the infrastructure to replace it. At least not yet. Prasad unpacks how the dollar became a kind of addiction for the global economy. Hard to quit, even when you know it's risky. He goes even deeper in his more recent book, The Future of Money. This time, he's looking ahead. Digital currencies are rewriting the rules. Prasad discusses the rise of central bank digital currencies, CBDCs, and how they may empower countries to bypass the traditional dollar-based system. He shows how China's digital yuan isn't just about going cashless, it's a geopolitical play to reduce reliance on SWIFT and dollar clearing systems. One standout quote from the book: "Money is no longer what it used to be." He explores how programmable money, blockchain, and even decentralized finance could undermine the dollar's role in global transactions. This book is essential if you want to understand not just where we've been, but where money itself might be headed. Now let's rewind with The Rise and Fall of the Dollar by Barry Eichengreen. This book provides the historical backbone for the entire conversation. Eichengreen is one of the world's top experts on international finance. He explains how the US dollar overtook the British pound after World War II, why it gained so much trust, and how it held that trust through multiple crises. But history, he reminds us, is full of turning points. Every empire has its currency. None last forever, Eichengreen writes. He shows that currency power is not just about economics. It's about military strength, institutional trust, and the perception of stability. The US has enjoyed all three, but those pillars are eroding. Political polarization, mounting debt, and financial instability have made many countries rethink the dollar's safety. This book doesn't shout, it teaches. Slowly and clearly, it shows that while the dollar's fall may not be fast, it may be inevitable. Finally, we have The End of the Dollar Empire by Willem Middelkoop. This is the big picture book. Middelkoop is a Dutch investor and journalist who ties everything together: gold, oil, geopolitics, debt, and deglobalization. He argues that a global monetary reset is coming, and de-dollarization is just the beginning. One of his key arguments is that the 1944 Bretton Woods system, which put the dollar at the center of everything, has outlived its usefulness. Countries like Brazil, India, China, and South Africa are actively working to create a new system, one where no single currency dominates. The East is preparing for a world without the dollar, he writes. Middelkoop covers everything from gold repatriation to the rise of BRICS, from petro-yuan oil trades to IMF reform. This book feels like a financial wake-up call. It's not academic, it's urgent, and it's packed with examples of how de-dollarization is no longer a theory, it's already happening. So what do these books tell us when taken together? The dollar is not disappearing overnight, but the foundation beneath it is shifting. Countries are diversifying, digital alternatives are emerging, and the dollar's monopoly on trust is slowly crumbling. It's not just about economics, it's about control. These books are not just about currency, they're about power, leverage, and the rules that govern the global order. If you're watching inflation, trade wars, or central bank policies and wondering how they all connect, the answer is here. This is Intellings.